and troughs, po-trump-thumbs,
cried the owl to the cat. What does that mean? Said the postman to the child.
What does that mean?
Child runs behind the barn. Behind the barn, an owl grabs the postman, rips off his head, and puts it on. The mail was scattered all over the street. Blood imprinted some envelopes. When the sunset turned a nice orange, and the people sat on the porch, mint juleps in hands, there were hamburgers, hot dogs on the grill, a regular country fare. Soft-spoken mumble, and the doors screeched shut, the torch lit, everyone singing, take your soul to the Mingersons' house, take your soul to the Mingersons' house. Proud mother holds the baby, the whole chorus smiled at each other and sang these words once more. Take your soul to the Mingersons' house, take your soul to the Mingersons' house, take your soul to the Mingersons' house. Another holiday has passed.
I'm lost.
I didn't do anything. The mail was everywhere.
We've all heard the story. We've all sung the little tune. The Mingersons myth is ingrained in our collective consciousness like the Lizzie Borden mystery of the 1930s. The Mingersons' house resonates like a grim fairy tale through American culture. But does anybody really believe it happened? This man, Carlos Tolstoy, whose #1 word song recording success, called The Mingersons, outsold every recording in the fall of 1968, even surpassing the mellifluous tones of Rod McEwen. It was rumored that the story he told was more than a fantasy with its dark portrayals of violence and hints of cannibalism. But was it real? I decided to find out. When I knocked on the door and pretended to be lost, I knew who lived there. Mr. Tolstoy had been living in total obscurity all these years in the little village of Verna, hidden away from the prying questions of the celebrity press of 1968. Questions about the rumors that he had been admitted to a mental facility just after his sudden rise to fame, that he was suffering some kind of post-traumatic stress, and that he had witnessed something his mind could not process. I finally gained entrance by producing a small mechanical monkey, offering it as a gift and explaining that I was filming the surrounding area for a National Geographic documentary on Bigfoot. That's when the subtle questioning began. When he introduced himself, I feigned surprise. As soon as I asked him if he was Carlos Tolstoy, of Mingerson fame, he became extremely agitated and began suffering from what appeared to be a nervous tic. I asked him how he was feeling.
I haven't been well.
Then I asked him what the actual story behind the Mingersons was. Was there really a postman? He suddenly became transfixed on the ceiling as if he were seeing something horrible. He finally calmed down and began to talk freely.
Postman startled me. He startled me. I was minding my own business, and the postman came around the corner, and I noticed he was looking at something across the way from me. So I turned and I looked too, and there was a little boy there. Then all at once, there was this giant mosquito.
I stopped him. I said there had never been a mention of a giant mosquito. He stopped and started again.
The postman was there. 1 minute. The next minute, he and the little boy and the owl disappeared into the park. And then there was mail. It was everywhere. And there was blood all over the mail. And I looked, and the blood was coming from the postman's neck because the owl had torn off the postman's head and was wearing it.
Looking through the Verna police reports of 1967 and 68, I found a missing persons report on one Dominic Sullivan, a Verna postman who showed up for work one day and was never seen again. Nobody knew what happened to him, and there were few people left in Verna who'd ever even heard of the incident. One person cryptically told me to check near the shed in the old cemetery. I found the cemetery to be pre-Civil War, but there was one new monument with this on it.
I could hear that owl hooting in the background. All I could see was its face with the face of the postman and dripping blood. The blood was everywhere. The mail was everywhere.
I was beginning to doubt that this guy was rational. Could this really happen? I asked him, why didn't he report the incident to the police? His answer gave me some concern.
I didn't do anything. I was just hiding in the woods.
Yes, but what about later?
I'm walking in the woods, minding my own business, not doing anything funny.
I wondered what he meant by that, but didn't pursue it. I asked him, what happened next? What did he see?
A group of them had taken hold of it and were dragging it. And they turned not 5 feet in front of me, and I saw what it was. It was the body of the postman. Headless, with a neck gaping and blood trailing from it. I passed out.
Incredulous, I asked him again, but why no police report?
Look, it's not my fault. I was just in the woods. I was just walking in the woods. It's not my fault.
I calmed him down and, after a while, asked him to continue.
Finally, I came to. Some general hubbub in the air, and the smell of cooking. They were cooking a lot of meat.
What kind of meat do you think they were cooking?
Oh, hamburgers, hot dogs, that sort of thing. I almost ventured a little closer. Then I realized that they weren't cooking hot dogs and hamburgers at all.
I asked him if he had anything to eat, and that set him off.
I didn't do anything! It wasn't me! It wasn't me!
This time it took an hour to calm him down and to persuade him to tell me the rest of the story.
All the people in the town turned and began to walk to the church. They all filed into the church and slammed the doors behind them. So I couldn't see. I thought, well, there was a window open on one side, so I crept to the window, and I could hear them singing inside. It seemed like any church festival anywhere in this country. And I looked through the window, and soon the singing stopped, and a woman came forward, and she was holding a baby.
What was unusual about that, I asked him.
The baby had feathers.
I had my questions answered. I offered to buy him lunch at a local McDonald's, and he jumped at it. I ordered lunch for the both of us, 1 Big Mac combo and 1 Happy Meal.